Okay, guys. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Aslam. Okay, so we've got IELTS Listening Part 1. And if you stay attentive for the next 10 to 15 minutes, you will be able to understand how to get 10 by 10 in Listening Part 1. Those who need overall 6.5 or overall 7 listening and speaking, these two modules will provide them that. Because with a little extra effort, you can achieve better bench score. Writing needs time to develop, practice to develop. Reading needs time because of your understanding and all that. But listening and speaking, if you pay a little more attention, you can get very good bench score, right? So anyways, now, the first thing is you need to see the first sentence is complete the notes below. This sentence will tell you about the type of questions. So, question type is notes completion. Next, write one word and or a number. Now, answer is going to contain one word or number or word plus number. One word, number, word plus number. Okay. So, after that, you need to read the title. Buckworth Conservation Group. Don't go for the meaning of Buckworth Conservation. If you understand, good. If you don't understand, no problem. It's just a group and all that. Your focus should be on the questions, right? So, regular activities. The first title is regular activities. And the first one is beach. When they play the audio, there are certain words which you need to signpost, because going along the audio is very important. Here you are on the question booklet, here is the audio. If you go simultaneously, like if you are on question 1, when the audio is on question 1, you will find the answer. If you are little below or little before or after, you will not be able to find. So that is why encircle at least 4 or 5 words that when you listen to those words, audio has reached here. For example, if they use the word beach, now beach means audio has reached here. If they use the word nesting boxes, and by the way, the notes or sentences where there is no question, they use the same wording for that. Okay, maut pendi hai, when question comes, they change the wording altogether. When there is a note, there is no question, only note, they don't change the wording. They use the same wording, like nesting boxes, they will use the same wording for that, okay? So you need to signpost so that now the audio is here, now the audio is here, now the audio is here, and you'll find the answers easily. If you and audio, they're going to go together, okay? This 1 point, Shmaila, this 1 point treble ko kam karein, ye awaaz sahi ho jayegi. Okay, so question number 1, making sure beach does not have. Now, very simple. This question is with not. And for not, they can use anything, any word. For example, they use the word unless, they use the word none. So make sure beach does not have. Now, underline does not have. For does not have, for example, make sure beach does not have pollution. Now, just try to understand their mindset. You should make sure that there is no pollution at the beach. Does not have and no pollution at the beach. Or they can say, make sure the beach is free from pollution. Free from pollution means does not have any pollution. You understand? This is called rewording, this is called synonyms and all that. So once you start understanding these type of synonyms, IELTS listening will not be difficult for you. Anyways, let's start. Question number 1.
You will hear a woman called Jan phoning a man about their local conservation group.
Hello?
Oh, hello. My name's Jan. Are you the right person to talk to about the Buckworth Conservation Group?
Yes, I'm Peter. I'm the secretary.
Good. I've just moved to this area and I'm interested in getting involved. I was in a similar group where I used to live. Could you tell me something about your activities, please?
Of course. Well, we have a mixture of regular activities and special events. One of the regular ones is trying to keep the beach free of litter. A few of us spend a couple of hours a month on it, and it's awful how much there is to clear. I wish people would be more responsible and take it home with them.
I totally agree.
Free of litter. How do you spell litter? Litter. Now, other litter is 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter. This liter means garbage. Trash, garbage, litter. And see, sometimes listening starts with confusing word. Now, liter is a confusing word because sometimes we only know liter, 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liters. So, trash, garbage, litter, it's the same thing. For example, don't litter. Don't litter means gandna pilau. Don't litter, okay? Now, on it. And the second option is no dash. Now, another point which is not allowed. And for no, they can use not, free from, or anything. Now, I play the audio.
I'd be happy to help with that. Is it okay to take dogs?
I'm afraid not, as they're banned from the beach itself. You can take them along the cliffs, though, and children are welcome.
Right.
Children are welcome. Dogs, I'm afraid not. Are we allowed to take dogs? I'm afraid not. So, no dogs. Answer is dogs. That's right. Because it's one word only. Okay, let's go on. Nature reserve. Now, can you see there are 2 points without any question? So, you need to know which point is discussed in the audio. If you know, now they are discussing point 1, now they have come to point 2, and when they come to point 3, you know there is your answer. So going along the audio is extremely important. From the first point, maintaining paths, underline the word paths. They will elaborate on it. They will just explain it. Next, nesting boxes for birds installed. Now nesting boxes and installed. Next, task is taking action to attract. Underline the word attract. Taking action to attract dash to the place. To attract dash to the place means that thing should come to the place. So it can be any species of animals or attract mosquitoes, attract birds, attract pigeons, attract crows and all that. So let's see which word they use. For example, for attract, they may use the word encourage. Attract mosquitoes. It will encourage the mosquitoes to come here. Attract mosquitoes, encourage mosquitoes. So whenever you solve IELTS listening and you do debriefing, you must see what is written here and what is the synonym of that in the audio. Once you learn 40 questions, 40 things like that, you'll be better test after test. So let's see.
We also manage a nature reserve, and there's a lot to do there all year round. For example, because it's a popular place to visit, we spend a lot of time looking after the paths and making sure they're in good condition for walking.
I could certainly help with that.
Good. And we have a program of creating new habitats there. We've just finished making and installing nesting boxes for birds to use, and next we're going to work on encouraging insects. They're important for the biodiversity of the reserve.
Okay.
They certainly are.
Insects. Plural, they've spoken plural words, so you're going to encourage insects to the place for biodiversity, means every type of animal is there. If in the forest there are only lions and tigers and zebras are not there, what will happen? Lions and tigers will die of hunger, right? So they are important. That's what we call biodiversity. Okay, answer is insects. Next, question number 4, identifying types of. Now underline the word types of and listen carefully. For types of, they can use the word types of, kinds of, sort of, S-O-R-T, classification, sorts of, or species of. Species of, types of, kinds of, species of. For example, types of birds, kinds of birds, species of birds, and all that. Now let's see what is the answer.
Oh, and we're also running a project to identify the different species of butterflies that visit the reserve. You might be interested in taking part in that.
Instead of speaking your answer, I would advise you to write your answer. Okay, once you write your answer quietly, when I stop the audio, then tell me what the answer is. Because many students who don't find the answer, then they find it. And they find it from you, not from the audio. Okay, so keep quiet, wait till the last moment when audio is over. Then I say, yes, what is the answer? Then tell me the answer, okay? So question number 4, please listen again.
Oh, and we're also running a project to identify the different species of butterflies
Okay,
But
to
visit the
identify
reserve.
different species of butterfly, identifying types of and species of. Okay, in part 1 and part 4, listening merely depends on all these things. Part 1 and part 4, absolutely. Question number 5, building a new. Now listen, for building they can use the word constructing, making, creating, and for new they use a number of different words for new. For example, they can say, if I say, for example, I want to replace my old mobile. What does it mean? I want to buy a new mobile. So when I want to replace, now replace is another word for new. Okay, so replace, another one, I want to buy another mobile. Means I want to buy a new mobile, right? Or I want to update my mobile. Means I want to buy a new one. Okay, so let's see.
Another job we're doing at the reserve is replacing the wall on the southern side, between the parking area and our woodshed. It was badly damaged in a storm last month.
Okay.
So replacing the wall. I play it again. Please stay focused. Even for a second, if you lose your attention, you will miss the answer. Answer will come and go and you will never notice that. Please listen.
Another job we're doing at the reserve is replacing the wall on the southern side, between
Another job we are doing. Another job we are doing means building. Building, and another job we are doing is replacing the wall. So replacing the wall means new wall. Answer is wall. If you write new wall, 2 words, right answer will be wrong. Okay, that's good. Okay guys, now we move on. Next is forthcoming events. That is the title. And the subtitle is Saturday. Now whatever is going to take place on Saturday, that will be your answer. Just underline car park. The points which are without questions, you will never read them to waste your time. But you will just take a look at them and underline one important word for signposting. And what is signposting? Audio has reached here. Now they are going to move on to the next one. So when you underline car park, you know the audio is here and now they are going to come to the next point. And you can do this thing also with the right, if you are a right-hander, with the left hand, follow the audio. Now audio is, and with the right hand, write the answer. So right hand will move from question number 1 to question number 2. Question number 2 to question number 3. And this hand that is only following the audio will move along the audio. Now it's here. And when these 2 hands join, you will write your answer. Okay. So let's see. Walk across the sands and reach the. Reach the means a place where you are going to reach. How will you reach there? By walking across the sands. Walk across the sands and reach the dash. Now just keep in mind, by walking across the sand, you will reach somewhere. For example, reach the garden. Walk over the sand and you will reach the garden, or you will find the garden, right? Or the garden will come there, something like that.
Then, as I said, we have a programme of events as well, both at the weekend and during the week.
Right. I presume you have guided walks. I'd like to get to know the local countryside as I'm new to the area.
Yes, we do. The next walk is to Ruston Island a week on Saturday. We'll be meeting in the car park at Dunsmore Beach at low tide. That's when the sands are dry enough for us to walk to the island without getting wet.
Sounds good.
The island's a great place to explore. It's quite small and it's got a range of habitats.
Okay, answer is Ireland. I-R-E-L-A-N-D. Ireland. Huh? How do you spell I-C-E-L-A-N-D? Yes, I-S-L-A-N-D. Island. S is silent. Okay, so the answer is Ireland. Just listen to this once again.
Then, as I said, we have a programme of events as well, both at the weekend and during the week.
Right. I presume you have guided walks. I'd like to get to know the local countryside as I'm new to the area.
Yes, we do. The next walk is to Ruston Island a week on Saturday. We'll be meeting in the car park at Dunsmore Beach at low tide. That's when the sands are dry enough for us to walk to the island without...
Walk to the island. Reach the island. Walk to the island. Okay, picnic, you need to underline. They will talk about it. Question number 7. Where appropriate. Now, it's something variable. Anything on your head, on your feet, on your arms, on your body, anything. And appropriate. For appropriate, they can use anything. Suitable. Right? For example, if the answer is appropriate coat, they can use the word suitable coat. Coat that suits. Right? Or for appropriate, they can use any other word. Now, let's see what that is. But remember, answer is going to be variable. And which is appropriate. If they say, don't wear plastic shoes because they are not good. Would the answer be plastic shoes? No. You must wear sandals, for example, if they say, right? So.
It's also an ideal location for seeing seals just off the coast or even on the beach.
Okay. And is there anything we should bring? Like a picnic, for instance?
Yes, do bring one, as it's a full-day walk. And of course, it'll be wet walking across and back, so make sure your boots are waterproof.
I must buy a new pair. There's a hole in one of my current ones.
Make sure your boots are waterproof. Now, waterproof is appropriate. Got it? No. Answer is boots, but appropriate. For appropriate in the audio, they use the word waterproof. Waterproof, appropriate, and answer is boots. B-O-U. Absolutely. B-O-O-T-S. Got it? Now, when you understand suitable, waterproof, they are synonyms. And I call them stupid synonyms. Why? Because they are only synonyms in IELTS. Not otherwise. You will never find anywhere suitable and waterproof. But in IELTS, you will find. We call it rewording, paraphrasing, and all that. So the answer is boots, right? Yeah. Sorry? Reference to the context. Absolutely. Okay. Next is woodwork session. They have a woodwork session. You know woodwork, making things out of wood and all that. Okay, woodwork session. Suitable for. Suitable for means suitability of woodwork session for the type of people. Right? Suitable for dash to participate in. Now, suitable for who to participate in?
Well, I'd definitely like to come on the walk.
Great. Then later this month, we're having a one-day woodwork session in Hopton Wood.
I've never tried that before. Is it okay for beginners to take part?
Definitely. There'll be a couple of experts leading the session, and we keep the number of participants down, so you'll get as much help as you need.
Excellent.
Beginners. Is it okay for beginners to take part? Definitely. Suitable for beginners. Try to understand how they talk. Is it suitable? No, they use the word is it okay for beginners? And definitely means suitable for beginners. And if he would have said no, then that would not be the answer. Okay, so answer is beginners. How do you spell? B-E-G-I. Okay. Single G. B-E-G-I-N-N-E-R-S. Beginners. Okay. Question number 9. Making dash out of wood. Underline out of wood. Now listen and always remember for out of wood. For example, if it is out of wood, for that they use wooden. For instance, if answer is plate. Plate out of wood, wooden plate. Okay? Plate out of iron, iron plate. Plate out of silver, silver plate. Understand? Plate out of gold, gold plate. Right? Like that. So out of wood means wooden something. So let's see what that is.
I'd love to be able to make chairs.
That's probably too ambitious for one day. You'll be starting with wooden spoons. And of course, learning how to use the tools. And anything you make is yours to take home with you.
That sounds like fun.
All right. Answer is... Now, one more thing. Don't develop a habit of speaking the answer when it comes. If you do it in actual exam, it may lead to cancellation of your test. So just your mouth shut and write the answer down and all that, okay? I mean, you need to follow the practices which are allowed in the exam. In reading module also, you are not even allowed to whisper. Your tongue and your lips must not move when you are reading. So make sure you practice with your mouth shut. Okay, answer is spoons. Then there is 3 p.m. So when they say 3 p.m., it means they are going to move on. 3 p.m. is signposting, right? Question number 10. Cost of session. No camping. Now this no camping, in another language we call it, this is a sort of chaval. They will give you the price with camping, and some students will write that. And then without camping. For no, they use the word without. So cost of session, no camping means cost, and they have already given pound sign. So you will not write currency sign, you will just write the amount. Okay. So let's see what is the cost without camping. With camping, that's not your answer.
When is it?
It's on the 17th from 10 a.m. until 3. There's a charge of £35, including lunch, or £40 if you want to camp in the wood.
I should think I'll come home the same day. Well, I'd certainly like to join the group.
Alright, so cost of session 35. Absolutely. Got it? Now they gave you 2 options and one of them is the right one. Okay, thank you. Okay guys, now those who do not understand multiple choice questions, this is a good opportunity for you. Why? Because we've got multiple choice questions from a very basic level. And in the same test, we will go on to advanced level multiple choice questions as well. So if you really have problem in multiple choice questions in IELTS Listening Part 3, try to solve multiple choice questions in IELTS Listening Part 2. Because Part 2 multiple choice questions are easier and shorter than Part 3. Once you develop good understanding of multiple choice of Part 2, then Part 3 will be fine for you and all that. So that's what we are going to do. Boat trip round Tasmania. Now they have a boat trip and that boat trip is round Tasmania. Now you don't know what Tasmania is, but still forget about it. Just think about boat trip. वो कागज की कश्ती, वो बारिश का पानी. All right. Question number 11. What is maximum number? Underline maximum number. Thank you. What is maximum number of people who can stand on each side of the boat? Now they have a boat. Imagine this is a boat. What is the maximum number of people who can stand on each side? Right? If it says, well, for example, 9, 15, 18. So 9, 18, 15, what is the maximum number? Maximum number means each side and maximum number. Right? Equal. Yeah. So let's see what is the maximum number. Let's see. Maybe it can be 15 and total 30, right? But anyways, keep in mind maximum number and then keep in mind each side. Each side means one side. For example, if one side 15, total 30. Yes, yes.
You will hear a tour guide, Lou Miller, speaking to a group of people about a boat trip they are going to take around the Australian island of Tasmania.
So, hello everyone. My name's Lou Miller and I'm going to be your tour guide today as we take this fantastic boat trip around the Tasmanian coast. Before we set off, I just want to tell you a few things about our journey. Our boats aren't huge, as you can see. We already have 3 staff members on board, and on top of that, we can transport a further 15 people, that's you, around the coastline. But please note, if there are more than 9 people on either side of the boat, we'll move some of you over. Otherwise, all 18 of us will end up in the sea.
Okay, 9. And he had already counted. Staff members 3, 15, 15 plus 3, 18 divided by 2. Answer is 9. But you don't have to do it. He said that clearly, that 9 on each side. Otherwise, all 18 of us will end up in the sea. What does that mean? Sare dub jayenge. Yeah. Okay. So the right answer is 9. Sure.
You will hear a tour guide, Lou Miller, speaking to a group of people about a boat trip they are going to take around the Australian island of Tasmania.
So, hello everyone. My name's Lou Miller and I'm going to be your tour guide today as we take this fantastic boat trip around the Tasmanian coast. Before we set off, I just want to tell you a few things about our journey. Our boats aren't huge, as you can see. We already have 3 staff members on board, and on top of that, we can transport a further 15 people. That's
Okay, 3 staff members, and top of that, we can transport 15 people.
you around the coastline. But please note, if there are more than 9 people on either side of the
If there are more than 9 people on either side, so maximum number more than, and answer is 9.
He's saying maximum number of people. People might include the staff and the tourist as well.
Good. I like it. I tell you, I like it. You know, you are at the height of confusion right now. You are forgetting the word either side. Read the question. Read it loudly. Maximum number of people on each side. Each side means at the either and either. Okay? Don't confuse yourself too much, okay? There's no way out of it. Question number 12, please, now. What color are the tour boats? Now listen, are. Is it past or future? Present. So if he says our boats used to be light green, will that be the answer? No. If he says we are planning to paint our boats jet black, no. The color they are now, that will be the answer. Okay, so let's see. Dark red. Option A is dark red, B is jet black, C is light green. So again, focus R.
We've recently upgraded all our boats. They used to be jet black, but our new ones now have these comfortable dark red seats and a light green exterior in order to stand out from others and help promote our company. This gives our boats a rather unique appearance, don't you think?
Dark red. Well done. Excellent. Quiet. Upset. Shut up. Yeah. So dark red. किसने लिखा? Well done. Come on. Excellent. Good. हाथ खड़ा करें. Dark red किसने लिखा? Okay. Dark red is the color of seats. So that's not the color of boat. They are talking about boat. Okay. So the answer is light green. And when you write the wrong answer, you are double chora. Yeah. Here. IELTS Canada. Yeah. Okay. So be careful. I play this one again. I tell you. Yeah, they use the word interior. The question is, what color are the tour boats? When we talk about the color of the tour boats, that is their exterior, right? So just look at that.
We've recently upgraded all our boats. They used to be jet black,
Now, jet black cannot be the answer. They used to be.
but our new ones now have these comfortable dark red seats
New, comfortable, dark red seats. That's the color of seats.
and a light green exterior in order to stand out from others.
Okay, light green exterior in order to stand out from others. All good? Okay, let's go on. Question number 13. Which lunchbox is suitable for someone who doesn't eat meat or fish? Which lunchbox? Vegetarian. Okay, vegetables and all that. So someone who doesn't eat meat or fish. Which lunchbox? Now lunchbox 1. They will tell us what does it contain. If they write over here, fish, chicken, this, then we can easily identify, right? So lunchbox 1, they say, we offer 3 lunch boxes. Lunchbox 1, they will tell us. And if they use the word meat or fish, that will not be your answer. A lunchbox which contains only vegetarian food, that will be your answer. Okay, now let's see.
We offer you a free lunchbox during the trip, and we have 3 types. Lunchbox 1 contains ham and tomato sandwiches. Lunchbox 2 contains a cheddar cheese roll. And Lunchbox 3 is salad-based and also contains eggs and tuna. All 3 lunchboxes also have a packet of crisps and chocolate bar inside.
B? No. A? Well done. C? Good. Now listen, we are not playing a guess game. The right answer is option B. I tell you why. Just listen. And again, you need to remove your confusions. If you are confused, I say right answer is B. You say it's C. I know it is C. I heard C. They use the word vegetable. They use the word tomato. Not like this. You need to make sure why B is the right answer. If you don't make sure why B is the right answer, you're not learning anything. You're just following the trend. So,
We offer you a free lunchbox during the trip, and we have 3 types. Lunchbox 1 contains ham and tomato.
ham and tomato. Ham, you know. Barley the ghost. Okay. That is what we call ham. Understand? Ham is pig's meat. Pork or whatever. So ham is actually meat. Right? Now, lunchbox 2.
Sandwiches. Lunchbox 2 contains a cheddar cheese roll, and lunchbox 3
That's it. Cheddar cheese roll. Now, cheddar cheese is not meat or fish. So that is the right answer. Cheddar cheese roll. And lunchbox C or 3.
a cheddar cheese roll, and lunchbox 3 is salad based and
Now, salad based, you say, salad based. But now,
also contains eggs and tuna.
tuna. What is tuna? Fish. Okay, eggs and tuna. Now, if you don't know tuna, you'll say, okay, salad, yeah, I know. Islets. Yeah, okay. So, it's just that thing. You gotta be very, very careful, and you have to observe all these things while practicing. If you practice like this, the way we are doing, you will find all the answers right, okay? Let's go on. Question number 14. What should people do with their litter? Same litter. Yeah? Yeah. The other days, one of my colleagues once said, "Main letter paronne." Letter. I said, letter? What letter? We were just like, you want to post the letter? He said, no, letter. Lighter. Yeah. Okay, some people call it letter. So, what should people do with their litter? Litter means garbage. What should they do? Now, what options do we have? Throw it in the sea, as they have a C2 word. Throw it in the sea, exactly. Or otherwise, you can keep it with you in the plastic bag and throw it. Or if they say on the boat, we have a dustbin, throw it in the dustbin. So, option A, take it home. Option A, take it home. Why not? Tanu ki bhai? If they say, be careful, don't throw your trash anywhere, you should take it home and put it in your bedroom's dustbin. They can say anything. Without listening to the audio, you cannot decide answer is yes or no. Don't do the fluke or tukkas. Option B, hand it to a member of staff. Like you say, excuse me, this pamper, you take it, yeah? Hand it to a member, hand it. Give me your hand, here you go, yeah. Alright, so hand it to a member of staff. And option C, put it in the bins provided on the boat. Bins mean dustbin, hand it to a staff or keep it home. Now what should you do with your trash?
I'm sure I don't have to ask you not to throw anything into the sea. We don't have any bins to put litter in, but Jess, myself or Ray, our other guide, will collect it from you after lunch and put it all in a large plastic sack.
B, hand it to a member, and he named the staff members and they said we'll collect it from you and put it in the large plastic bags. Even they didn't use the word bins, large plastic bags, so B is the right answer. So this is the very foundation of IELTS multiple choice questions. Now we will find multiple choice questions in part 3 and you can differentiate how these questions are and how those questions will be. Yes, in IELTS listening part 2 or part 3, we have a question type which is actually called multiple choice questions. Okay, and these multiple choice questions are double. And for that they write choose 2 letters. Choose 2 letters. Now whenever it is one letter, choose 1 letter. For that they say choose the correct letter. Choose the correct letter means single multiple choice. And choose 2 letters, that means double multiple choice. Okay. So which 2 features of the lighthouse does Lou mention? Now you know lighthouse? On the bank of sea there is the lighthouse. 2 features. Now listen carefully. 5 features have been mentioned. 3 features he will discuss in contrast with the statements given here. He will have contradicting ideas to 3 of these statements, and 2 of his statements will agree. Or otherwise, I can say 3 statements will be false according to A, B, C, D, E, F, and 2 statements will be true. I explain further, don't worry. Why it was built. If in the audio he says the reasons why this lighthouse was built are still unknown today, will this be the answer? No. And they say this lighthouse was built to protect the army, then A is the right answer. Got it? What I mean by false statement and true statement. Okay, option B, who built it? If in the audio they say it was built by King George, answer is this, right? However, people still don't know exactly who built it. So, yeah, it's cross. So you got to see right or wrong. Option C, how long it took to build? If he says it took 35 years to construct this lighthouse, this is the right answer. And if he says, well, it took a lot of time, but nobody knows exactly, precisely, then this is not the right answer. Option D, who staffed it? Past tense, who staffed it? Who staffed it means workers. The people who work at the lighthouse, who are they? Who staffed it? And option E, what it was built with? That means material. Okay? So now another problem is this. They're going to discuss all 5 options, but unfortunately, they will not discuss them in order. If they only discuss these options in order, first A, B, C, you only have to do one thing. Tick, cross. Tick, cross, and the ticks are the right answers and cross that are the wrong answers. But anyways, now the first thing is you need to catch the option which is under discussion. Then you need to decide if that option is right one, tick. If that option is wrong, cross. And then move on to the next option. And how to go to the option? In every option, underline one word. For example, option A, why built? Option B, who built? Option C, how long built? Option D, who staffed? And option E, what built with? What built with? So now please listen and answer. And this time you will select 2 letters.
The engine on the boat makes quite a lot of noise, so before we head off, let me tell you a few things about what you're going to see. This area is famous for its ancient lighthouse, which you'll see from the boat as we turn past the first little island. It was built in 1838 to protect sailors, as a number of shipwrecks had led to significant loss of life. The construction itself was complicated, as some of the original drawings kept by the local council show. It sits right on top of the cliffs in a very isolated spot. In the 19th century, there were many jobs there, such as polishing the brass lamps, chopping firewood, and cleaning windows that kept lighthouse keepers busy. These workers were mainly prison convicts until the middle of that century, when ordinary families willing to live in such circumstances took over.
So, option A and D, well done. Now, option A, why it was built. They use the word to protect sailors. To protect sailors, option A. And option D, who staffed it? Prison convicts and other and all that. Okay, so option A and option D, these are the right answers. Now I play the audio and just listen to option A and D more carefully.
The engine on the boat makes quite a lot of noise, so before we head off, let me tell you a few things about what you're going to see. This area is famous for its ancient lighthouse, which you'll see from the boat as we turn past the first little island. It was built in 1838 to protect sailors.
It was built in 1838 to protect sailors. Now, listen, how long it took to build? He didn't mention that. It was built in 1886 to protect sailors, so A is the right answer.
As a number of shipwrecks had led to significant loss of life. The construction itself was complicated, as some of the original drawings kept by the local council show. It sits right on top of the cliffs in a very isolated spot. In the 19th century, there were many jobs there, such as polishing the brass lamps,
Okay, there were many jobs there, polishing the brass lamps and all that, and then they come to those prison convicts. So A and D are the right answers. Questions 17 and 18. Choose two letters A to E. Which two types of creature might come close to the boat? Imagine you are traveling by boat on this sea tour. So two creatures will come closer, and other creatures you will see from the distance. Now the creatures that will come closer will be the answer, and the creatures that you at the distance will not be the answer. Sea eagles. Sea eagles. Option B, fur seals. Option C, dolphins. Yeah, do you think dolphins will come closer? Let's see. Okay. Option D, whale. If whales come closer, they will be a disaster, right? And E, penguins. Yeah, penguins are friendly, so they might come closer. Now, the animals that will come closer the boat, that's going to be the right answer.
Some of you have asked me what creatures we can expect to see. I know everyone loves the penguins, but they're very shy and unfortunately tend to hide from passing boats. But you might see birds in the distance, such as sea eagles, flying around the cliff edges where they nest. When we get to the rocky area inhabited by fur seals, we'll stop and watch them swimming around the coast. They're inquisitive creatures, so don't be surprised if one pops up right in front of you. Their predators, orca whales, hunt along the coastline too, but spotting one of these is rare. Dolphins, on the other hand, can sometimes approach on their own or in groups as they ride the waves beside us.
Okay, so correct answer? B and C, absolutely. B is fur seals, and then whales are their predators, right? And C is dolphins. Now please write down this code, EAB, write it down, EABDC. It's elephant, alpha, bravo, delta, Charlie. Okay, so this is the order of the audio. Now I just play this one again for you.
Some of you have asked me what creatures we can expect to see. I know everyone loves the penguins, but they're very shy.
Everyone loves the penguins, but they are very shy. Cross this option. At the end, write a little cross. Now, penguins is not the answer. Cannot be the answer because they are very shy.
And unfortunately tend to hide from passing boats.
Okay, unfortunately tend to hide from passing boats.
But you might see birds in the distance.
You might see birds in the distance. What is the question? Type of creature might come close. So it's the opposite of might come close. That is why the birds like sea eagles, that will not be the answer.
Such as sea eagles, flying around the cliff edges where they nest. When we get to the rocky area inhabited by fur seals, we'll stop and watch them swimming around the coast. They're inquisitive creatures, so don't be surprised if one pops up right in front of you.
Don't be surprised if one pops up right in front of you. So right in front of you means might come close to the boat, and that is fur seal. Okay, now they discuss option D.
Their predators, orca whales, hunt along the coastline too, but spotting one of these is rare.
Spotting one of these is rare, so it's not the whales. Now they are going to talk about dolphins.
Dolphins, on the other hand, can sometimes approach on their own or in groups as they ride the waves beside us.
Okay, so the second answer is dolphins. Now, questions 19 and 20. Choose two letters. Which 2 points does Lou make about the caves? Now, underline 2 points. Lou makes caves. Okay, now just visualize caves. Option A, only large tourist boats can visit them. So underline large boats visit. And them means caves, and you should know that. Option B, entrance are often blocked. So underline entrance blocked. Entrance often blocked. Option C, dangerous for individuals. Dangerous for individuals. Option D, someone will explain. Someone will explain me in tourist guide, will tell you what is inside the caves and all that, okay? Option E, cannot be reached on foot. They cannot be reached means caves cannot be reached on foot. You need to use a boat or any other means of transport. So just underline cannot be reached on foot. Now listen 2 points they make about caves.
Lastly, I want to mention the caves. Tasmania is famous for its caves, and the ones we'll pass by are so amazing that people are lost for words when they see them. They can only be approached by sea, but if you feel that you want to see more than we're able to show you, then you can take a kayak into the area on another day, and one of our staff will give you more information on that. What we'll do is to go through a narrow channel past some incredible rock formations, and from there we'll be able to see the openings to the caves, and at that point we'll talk to you about what lies beyond.
We'll talk to you about what lies beyond. What lies beyond means what is inside. So the correct answer is option D for doctor and E for elephant. Option A, large to, okay, now just write another code. It's echo, E, alpha, bravo, delta, Charlie. Delta and Charlie, they just confuse these two options. Anyways, I'm going to play this one again. Please listen.
Lastly, I want to mention the caves. Tasmania is famous for its caves, and the ones we'll pass by are so amazing that people are lost for words when they see them. They can only be approached by sea.
They can only be approached by sea. So option E. They cannot be reached on foot means they can only be approached by sea. Now if something can be approached by sea means it cannot be approached on foot. So E is the right answer. Got it? See how technical they are. You cannot go there by boat. For example, if they say, it means you need to fly there. So if they say you cannot go there on foot, it means you need a boat. So E is the first right answer. Now come to option A.
But if you feel that you want to see more than we're able to show you, then you can take a kayak into the area on a...
You can take a kayak into the area. Now those who don't know kayak, they will not understand. This kayak is a small boat. You might have seen one person is having this thing and he oar in his hand and he's going on small boat, very small boat. His all body is inside the boat and only this much is visible and they're doing it like this. That is called kayak, and kayak is a very small boat. Now option A, only large tourist boats can visit them. Opposite of that is kayak, right? So A is not the right answer. Now option B.
Another day, and one of our staff will give you more information on that. What we'll do is to go through a narrow channel past some incredible rock formations.
Okay, go through narrow channels. Entrance to them are often blocked? No, he said we'll go through narrow channels. So entrance is not blocked, right? Now come to option D and option C.
And from there, we'll be able to see the openings to the caves, and at that point, we'll talk to you about what lies beyond.
Okay, we will talk to you about what lies beyond. And this idea, it is too dangerous for individuals to go near them, is not discussed. Okay, so correct answer, D for doctor, E for elephant. Okay guys, in IELTS listening, the most complicated questions for the students are multiple choice questions. Most complicated. Because of the complexity of the options they discuss, and they talk about them in such a way that a normal speaker of English language or a normal learner of English language cannot spot the difference between the right answer and the wrong answer. And what do many students do? They pick up the words. They don't go for ideas. They pick up some words and then they decide, okay, in option B, they have this word. That is why this is the right answer. It's not the word, it's the idea that will decide the right answer. The title, Work Experience for Veterinary Science Students. Veterinary science means animal doctors. So work experience for them. Question number 21. What problem did both Diana and Tim? Underline problem. And then both. If I say, well, I had this problem, and you say, yes, I also had this problem. It means both. So there are three problems. One is individual problem of Diana and one is individual problem of Tim, but one problem is their, common problem. So that common problem will be the answer. Option A, making initial contact with suitable farms. Underline making initial contact. For that they might say, I didn't know how to find or how to get hold of a farmhouse. And if the other one says, me too, then A is the right answer. If other one says, well, I had my uncle who helped me, so I easily contacted with them, then it's not the answer. Right? Option B, organizing transport. Underline organizing transport. If one says, well, I had to arrange a bus to go there, and the other one says, I lived on the farm, so I didn't have this problem. Or if other one says, I had my own vehicle, so I didn't have this problem. Will that be the answer? Now, what will you focus? Both. The problem they both had. If one says, well, I had issues with the train service, and the other one says, yes, I had the same problem with me, that will be the right answer. Option C, finding a placement for the required length of time. Finding a placement, required length of time. Now, what is finding a placement? Means job placement. And required length of time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Like you do internship for 3 months, 2 months and all that. Now, a common problem will be the right answer. Individual problem will be the wrong answer. They will discuss all 3 options in any order. First, catch the option which is being discussed and then see if that is individual problem, cross it. If that is combined problem, and that is your answer.
You will hear 2 veterinary science students called Diana and Tim discussing their work placements and their course modules.
So, Tim, we have to do a short summary of our work experience on a farm.
Right. My farm was great, but arranging the work experience was hard. One problem was it was miles away and I don't drive. And also, I'd really wanted a placement for a month, but I could only get one for 2 weeks.
I was lucky. The farmer let me stay on the farm, so I didn't have to travel. But finding the right sort of farm to apply to wasn't easy.
No, they don't seem to have websites, do they? I found mine through a friend of my mother's, but it wasn't easy.
No.
Excellent. Right answer is A. Chor padege, yeah? It's not C, okay? I tell you why. Write down this code. BCA. What's the code? BCA. It means in the audio first they will discuss option B, then option C, and then option A. Now please listen to it again.
You will hear 2 veterinary science students called Diana and Tim discussing their work placements and their course modules.
Okay, only focus option B.
So, Tim, we have to do a short summary of our work experience on a farm.
Right. My farm was great, but arranging the work experience was hard. One problem was it was miles away and I don't drive.
Okay, it was miles away and I don't drive. Now listen to her.
And also, I'd really wanted a placement for a month, but I could only get one for 2 weeks.
I wanted a placement for a month, but I could only get one for 2 weeks. Now that was his problem. Now let's see what does she say.
I was lucky. The farmer let me stay on the farm.
I was lucky. The farmer let me stay on the farm. So problem B was not her problem. She lived on the farm with other animals. Now come to option C.
But I could only get one for 2 weeks.
I was lucky. The farmer let me stay on the farm, so I didn't have to travel. But finding the right sort of farm to apply to wasn't...
Finding the right sort of farm to apply to means making initial contact with suitable farm.
easy.
No, they don't seem to have...
No, wasn't easy. No, means both had this problem. They don't have websites and all that. So making initial contact with suitable farms is the right answer. Question number 22. Tim was pleased to be able to help. Now Tim helped someone and he was happy about it. Option A, lamb that had a broken leg. Now listen carefully. If Tim helped a lamb with broken leg, A is the right answer. If Tim called a doctor and doctor treated the lamb, then A is the wrong answer. Understand? Yeah, some of you must be thinking it's so technical. But the good thing is I'm explaining to you so you can understand. Option B, sheep that was having difficulty giving birth. So Tim became a midwife there, okay? A sheep that was having difficulty. Now if Tim helped the sheep giving birth, then B is the right answer. But if doctor came and Tim only, they did the extra work, then it's not the right answer. And option C, newly born lamb that was having trouble feeding. So Tim helped with the lamb. Tim gave the new baby lamb a feeder or Cerelac or anything like that. Then C is the right answer. Otherwise, it's not. Now listen carefully. Out of 3 options where Tim actively helped or Tim got involved in helping, that is the right answer. Where others, for example, the farmer did all the work and I was just looking. Right? Then that is not the right answer. Okay? Now let's see. Please listen and decide what's the right answer. And you know one thing. Answer is either A or B. Otherwise C. So that's not difficult. Okay?
My farm was mostly livestock, especially sheep. I really enjoyed helping out with them. I was up most of one night helping a sheep deliver a lamb.
On your own?
No, the farmer was there, and he told me what to do. It wasn't a straightforward birth, but I managed. It was a great feeling to see the lamb stagger to its feet and start feeding almost straight away, and to know that it was okay. Then another time, a lamb had broken its leg, and they got the vet in to set it, and he talked me through what he was doing. That was really useful.
Not B, C. No, A. And all of you are right. Right? But as per you, you are right. Okay, now please write down this code. B, C, A. B, C, A. And the right answer is C. Well done. Good English. You Canada soon. Okay, I stay here, Punjab. You Canada. Forever Canada. Yeah. All right. You Desi? No, you Valeti, I Desi. Yeah. Okay, let's listen and decide.
My farm was mostly livestock, especially sheep. I really enjoyed helping out with them. I was up most of one night helping a sheep deliver a lamb.
On your own?
No, the farmer was there, and he told me what to do.
The farmer was there and he told me what to do. Who did it all? Tim. So option B, sheep that was having difficulty giving birth and Tim helped. Now I tell you, listen, don't look at me angrily. Oh. Now I tell you why A and C are wrong. Now please come to option C. Newly born lamb that was having trouble feeding.
It wasn't a straightforward birth, but I managed. It was a great feeling to see the lamb stagger to its feet and start feeding almost straight away.
Lamb staggered to its feet and start feeding straight away. Did Tim do anything? No, the lamb did it all by itself. Okay, so C is the wrong answer. Now come to option A.
And to know that it was okay. Then another time, a lamb had broken its leg, and they got the vet in to set it.
They got the vet in to set it. Who set it? Vet. Vet is animal doctor. Right? Veterinarian and all that, yeah?
And he talked me through what he was doing.
He taught me through what he was doing. So who was doing? Vet was doing and he was watching. Okay, let's go on. Question number 23. Diana says the sheep on her farm. Now, Diana says, and she talks about the sheep on her farm. So you will listen to Diana carefully. Various different varieties. Underline. Sheep and various different varieties. Okay, so if there was a various different variety, A is the right answer. B, mainly reared for their meat. Reared for their meat means they were raising the sheep for their meat. So for their meat, reared for their meat. And option C had better quality wool. So underline better quality wool than other sheep. Better quality wool. So now what does she say about the sheep on her farm?
Yes, my farm had sheep too. The farm was in a valley and they had a lowland breed called Suffolks, although the farmer said they'd had other breeds in the past.
So were they bred for their meat?
Mostly, yes. They're quite big and solid.
My farm was up in the hills, and they had a different breed of sheep. They were Cheviots.
Oh, I heard their wool's really sought after.
Yes, it's very hard wearing, and they use it for carpets.
Right.
So, why not C? Their wool is good, it is used for carpets. That is Tim. Absolutely, that's what I told you. Okay, now please write down the code. This time it's simple. A, B, C. Right? So I'll just play this and tell you.
Yes, my farm had sheep too. The farm was in a valley and they had a lowland breed called Suffolks, although the farmer said they'd had other breeds in the...
Okay, they had lowland breed called Suffolks. Now, various different varieties? No. They had lowland breed called Suffolks, although the farmer said they used to have, or they had in the past. So that other breeds were in the past. So A is the wrong answer. Why? Because they had only one breed. Now listen to option B.
Past.
So were they bred for their meat?
Mostly, yes.
Were they bred for their meat? Mostly, yes. So bred and reared. Right answer is B. And for C?
They're quite big and solid.
My farm was up in the hills, and they had a different breed of sheep. They were Cheviots.
Oh, I heard their wool's really sought after.
Okay, but that was there on the farm of Tim. So that is why C is not the right answer. Got it? Okay, don't worry. Gradually you'll be fine, okay? Question number 24. What did the students learn about adding supplements to chicken feed? Now, what did students learn adding supplements to chicken feed? Like we have food supplements. So adding supplements to chicken feed. Option A. These should only be given if specially needed. Underline given if specially needed. If the chicken needed, then they should give. Otherwise, they should not give. Supplements, okay? Option B. It is worth paying extra for more effective ones. So worth paying extra. Worth paying extra means the money you paid, it was value for money. Worth paying extra means value for money. And option C, amount given at one time should be limited. Amount of what? Amount of chicken feed supplement. Yeah. So amount given at one time should be limited. Just underline two words. Limited amount. Right? Now I play the audio.
I was interested in the amount of supplements they add to animals' feed nowadays. Like, even the chickens got extra vitamins and electrolytes in their feed.
Yes, I found that too. And they're not cheap. But my farmer said some are overpriced for what they are. And he didn't give them as a matter of routine, just at times when the chickens seemed to particularly require them.
Yes, mine said the same. He said certain breeds of chickens might need more supplements than the others, but the cheap and expensive ones are all basically the same.
Absolutely A. These should only be given if specially needed, and the code is CBA. Now it's the reverse one. Listen.
I was interested in the amount of supplements they add to animals' feed nowadays.
Okay, amount of supplement they add to the feed, animal feed, but it's not the limited they are talking about.
Like, even the chickens got extra vitamins and electrolytes in their feed.
Yes, I found that too. And they're not cheap. But my farmer said some are overpriced for what...
Okay, they are not cheap. Some are overpriced. When something is overpriced, it is not worth paying extra. Overpriced means very expensive. So it's not option B. Now come to option A. Should only be given if specially needed.
What they are. And he didn't give them as a matter of routine.
He didn't give them as a matter of routine.
Just at times when the chickens seemed to particularly require them.
Just at times when chickens seem to require them means given if specially needed. For need they use the word require. A is the right answer. Question number 25. What happened when Diana was working with dairy cows? Yeah, majne tudumariya, something like that, okay? So what happened when Diana was working with dairy cows? Option A. She identified some cows incorrectly. Identified cows incorrectly. Okay, like the breed of cows and all that. Option B, accidentally threw some milk away. Dudh dhul gaya. Yeah, she kicked the bucket and all the milk actually went away. So she threw some milk away. And option C, made a mistake when storing milk. When she was storing milk, she made a mistake. So what did she do when she was working with the dairy cows?
So, did your farm have any other livestock, Diana?
Yes, dairy cows. Oh, I made a really embarrassing mistake when I was working in the milk shed. Some cows had been treated with antibiotics, so their milk wasn't suitable for human consumption and it had to be put in a separate container. But I got mixed up and I poured some milk from the wrong cow in with the milk for humans, so the whole lot had to be thrown away. The farmer wasn't too happy with me.
C, she made a mistake when storing. So some cows were given antibiotic and that milk was not suitable for human and that had to be separate and she mixed both of them. And then farmer had to throw out the milk and he was not very happy. Okay, just listen to this one.
So, did your farm have any other livestock, Diana?
Yes, dairy cows. Oh, I made a really embarrassing mistake when I was working in the milk shed. Some cows had been treated with antibiotics.
Okay, some cows had been treated with antibiotics. That is, she identified some cows incorrectly. No, she knew that. Some cows were treated with antibiotics.
So their milk wasn't suitable for human consumption and it had to be put in a separate container. But I got mixed up and I poured some milk from the wrong cow in with the milk for humans.
Okay, milk from the wrong cow with the milk that was for humans. So that was, she made a mistake when storing milk. Okay, that is option C. And then who threw the milk? The farmer.
So the whole lot had to be thrown away.
Whole lot had to be thrown away. So farmer was not happy. Okay, let's go on. Question number 26. What did both farmers mention about vets and farming? Both farmers. There were two farmers and they mentioned about vets and farming. Vet means animal doctor and farming. Option A. Vets are failing to cope with some aspects of animal health. Vets are failing. And animal health means vets don't even know. They are failing to cope with some aspects of animal health. Option B. There needs to be a fundamental change in the training of vets. Fundamental change, training of vets. Vets means again animal doctor. Vet means. And option C, some jobs could be done by farmer rather than by a vet. So some jobs done by farmer rather vet. Mean farmer can do it himself. You know, many farmers, they are injecting their cows and they're giving them medicine and all that. They know how to treat that and all that. So some jobs done by farmers. So what did both farmers mention? Now both mentioned. Both mean Tim's farmer and Diana's farmer. Yeah.
I asked my farmer how much he depended on the vet to deal with health problems. I'd read reports that the livestock's health is being affected as farmers are under pressure to increase production. Well, he didn't agree with that, but he said that actually some of the stuff the vets do, like minor operations, he'd be quite capable of doing himself.
Yeah, my farmer said the same, but he reckons vet skills are still needed.
My farmer said the same. See, some jobs could be done by the farmer rather than by a vet. Minor operations and all that, okay? All right, thank you. Okay, with multiple choice in IELTS Listening Part 3, we usually have matching. Sometimes if you are unlucky with single multiple choice, we have double multiple choice. Like questions 21 to 26, single multiple choice. 27, 28, 29, 30, 4 double multiple choice questions. So it depends. And if you are very lucky, then you get sentence completion. Sentence completion is the easiest one. Okay? So, questions 27 to 30. What opinion do the students give? Underline opinion. Students give about each of the following modules. Underline modules on their veterinary science course. So you have to match opinions with modules. Now, if you take a look at the questions 27 to 30, The question is modules, medical terminology, diet and nutrition. Do you get any information? That is why don't read questions, because in the audio they will discuss all of them one by one. The first module is medical terminology, or after that we had diet and nutrition. They will talk about them as clearly as the words are written here, so you don't need to worry about it. Read the opinions. Now they are going to paraphrase the opinions. Question will not be paraphrased. Okay, option A. Now please follow me very, very carefully. Tim found this easier than expected. Who is this guy? Tim. Now you got to listen to Tim and underline easier than expected. Underline Tim, easier. If he says anything, it was quite easy, and I was thinking it could be difficult, but actually it wasn't. Option B. Tim thought this was not very clearly organized. Again, Tim, not clearly organized. Option A, Tim, easier than expected. Option B, Tim, not very clearly organized. Option C, Diana may do some further study on it. Diana, further study on this. If she says, I will do some more research on it, I will read a couple of articles about it, it's that. Again, Diana. Okay? Option D, they both found. Now they, encircle they. This is very confusing question. Yeah, Tim and Diana. They both found reading required for this was difficult. Reading was difficult. They didn't understand. So, both and reading was difficult. Option E. Tim was shocked. Underline Tim and shocked. He learned something on this module. Tim was shocked. He learned something, or something he learned. Option F. They were both surprised. So, they were surprised how little is known about some aspects. Now it's basically Tim, Diana, both, Tim, both. Okay, now let's see. This makes it confusing. Tim, Diana, both, and all that. So this is quite complicated. Question number 27, medical terminology.
Now we've got to give a bit of feedback about last term's modules. Just short comments, apparently. Shall we do that now?
Okay. So, medical terminology.
Well, my heart sank when I saw that, especially right at the beginning of the course, and I did struggle with it.
I thought it'd be hard, but actually, I found it all quite straightforward.
I thought it would be hard, but I found it quite straightforward. It's A. Tim found this easier than expected. Easier than expected. Easier means it was quite straightforward. I thought it would be hard. So question number 27, answer is A. Question number 28, diet.
What did you think about diet and nutrition?
Okay, I suppose.
Do you remember what they told us about pet food and the fact that there's such limited checking into whether or not it's contaminated? I mean, in comparison with the checks on food for humans, I thought that was terrible.
I thought that was terrible. And she only said, What does it mean? Na-ha te na-na. Right? So I thought it was terrible. Tim was shocked at something he learned at this module. And what was it? Whether the food for animals was contaminated or not. There was no check on that. So E is the right answer for question 28. I'm playing it again.
What did you think about diet and nutrition?
Okay, I suppose.
Do you remember what they told us about pet food and the fact that there's such limited checking into whether or not it's contaminated? I mean, in comparison with the checks on food for humans, I thought that was terrible.
Question number 29, animal disease. So, let's see.
I think the module that really impressed me was the animal disease one, when we looked at domesticated animals in different parts of the world, like camels and water buffalo and alpaca. The economies of so many countries depend on these, but scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them.
Yes. I thought they'd know a lot about ways of controlling and eradicating those diseases, but that's not the case at all.
That's not the case at all. Scientists don't know Option F. Well done. They were both surprised how little is known about some aspects of this. Please listen to it again.
I think the module that really impressed me was the animal disease one, when we looked at domesticated animals in different parts of the world, like camels and water buffalo and alpaca. The economies of so many countries depend on these, but scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them.
Yeah.
Scientists don't know much about the diseases that affect them. Yeah.
Yes. I thought they'd know a lot about ways of controlling and eradicating those diseases, but that's not the case at all.
But that's not the case at all. Surprise, that's not the case at all. Right? Okay, let's go on. Next we have question number 30. Wildlife medication.
I loved the wildlife medication unit. Things like helping birds that have been caught in oil spills. That's something I hadn't thought about before.
Yeah, I thought I might write my dissertation on something connected with that.
Right. So, actually, I was thinking something along the same line.
I think I might write my dissertation on something connected with that. I write my dissertation. She's going to write her dissertation in the future, and for that she's going to study. Option C. Diana may do some further study on it. For further study, they use the word dissertation. When you do dissertation, you do further research on that topic. Okay, IELTS Listening Part 4. And it's one word only. One word only is the common pattern of IELTS Listening Part 4. Labyrinth. What is a labyrinth? It's a kind of in the past they used to have maze, like from one end you enter and then you have to come out. Right? There are many deadlocks, many closed ways and all that. Okay, yeah, puzzle. It's a kind of puzzle. Definition: a winding spiral path leading to a certain area. Right? Like sometimes you solve a puzzle or labyrinth on paper. You know, you enter from here and from there that is the exit. You go there, that is blocked. Then you find another way and finally you go out. Labyrinths compared with mazes. Mazes are a type of. Now please tell me the synonyms of type of. We did it in part 1. Absolutely. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, anything like that. Now just focus kind of, type of, sort of, and you will find your answer. And mazes are.
Part 4. You will hear an anthropology student giving a presentation on spiral path designs known as labyrinths.
Labyrinths have existed for well over 4,000 years. Labyrinths and labyrinthine symbols have been found in regions as diverse as modern-day Turkey, Ireland, Greece, and India. There are various designs of labyrinth, but what they all have in common is a winding spiral path which leads to a central area. There is one starting point at the entrance, and the goal is to reach the central area. Finding your way through a labyrinth involves many twists and turns.
Okay, so what is the answer? Yeah, Siani hogi kudi, huh? Hunne nahi aaya answer. Well done, very good. So you got to wait for the answer to come. Shanti. Kahan ho tum? Okay? So,
but it's not possible to get lost, as there is only one single path. In modern times, the word labyrinth has taken on a different meaning and is often used as a synonym for a maze. A maze is quite different, as it is a kind of puzzle with an intricate network of paths.
It is a kind of puzzle. Well done. Kind of puzzle and type of maze. And for maze, they use the word it is a kind of. It means maze is a kind of puzzle. Puzzle. P-U-Z-Z-L-E. Well done. Now, dash is needed to navigate through a maze. Navigate through a maze means find your way through a maze. Dash is needed. For example, intelligence is needed. Right? Let's see.
Mazes became fashionable in the 15th and 16th centuries in Europe and can still be found in the gardens of great houses and palaces. The paths are usually surrounded by thick, high hedges so that it's not possible to see over them. Entering a maze usually involves getting lost a few times before using logic to work out the pattern and find your way to the center.
Before using logic. Now listen, before using logic means logic is needed. Logic is needed. Before using logic means you need to use logic, right? Logic is needed. Before using logic, it is difficult to find your way and all that. Question number 33. The word maze is derived from a word meaning of a feeling of. Now underline feeling. For feeling, they can use the word emotion. For feeling, they can use the word state. S-T-A-T-E. For example, what state of mind are you in? What are you feeling? What state of mind are you in means what are you feeling? So answer is going to be a feeling. It's going to be an emotion or a feeling. Simple.
There are lots of dead ends and paths which lead you back to where you started. The word maze is believed to come from a Scandinavian word for a state of confusion. This is where the word amazing comes from.
State of confusion. Okay, amazing comes from maze, and maze is, you know what maze is. So answer is confusion. Have you noticed answers are very simple? They are coming very systematically. So in part 4, if you have bad part 3, you can always get back in part 4. Right? Worst scenario, there will be 3 to 4 questions that you don't actually understand. It's not that, okay? So over here you can get 10 by 10. Part 1 you can get 10 by 10. With 35 answers you can get 8 pen. Anyways, let's go on. Question number 34. Labyrinths represent a journey through life. They means labyrinths. Labyrinths have frequently been used in dash and prayer. Now in dash and prayer, answer will come with prayer, before or after. And for and, they can use any other word. And also as well as along with or anything like that. Now focus the word prayer and it's going to be with that.
Labyrinths, on the other hand, have a very different function. Although people now often refer to things they find complicated as labyrinths, this is not how they were seen in the past. The winding spiral of the labyrinth has been used for centuries as a metaphor for life's journey. It served as a spiritual reminder that there is purpose and meaning to our lives, and helped to give people a sense of direction. Labyrinths are thought to encourage a feeling of calm, and have been used as a meditation and prayer tool in many cultures over many centuries.
Meditation and prayer tool. So it's very easy. Whenever before the blank or after the blank there is and, answer is definitely going to come with that word. Okay, so answer is meditation with the right spelling. Okay, yeah. Question number 35. Early examples of labyrinth spiral. Ancient carvings on. Now look here. Carvings on means material. Carvings on stone, carvings on rock, carvings on wood, carvings on cement, carvings on what? So carving is when, they carve and all that. Like sometimes people carve heart. When you go to the garden, you see there is the A, love this, and B, love C, and all that. So that is also called carving, right? So ancient carvings on surface. Answer is going to be that surface where they have the carving have been found across many cultures.
The earliest examples of the labyrinth spiral pattern have been found carved into stone, from Sardinia to Scandinavia, from Arizona to India to Africa.
Okay, answer is stone. Carved into stone. Now carved into stone and carvings on. Answer is stone. Okay, next they talk about pima and baskets. Got it? So just underline pima and underline baskets, okay? Alright, as I said in part 4, there is one thing. Remember, in IELTS listening part 4, for many students, listening audio is fast. Why fast? Because it's a lecture. One person is talking, he talks on and on and on and on. And many students, they are lost in part 4. Audio is somewhere, they are on a different question, audio is discussing a different question. So in order to avoid getting lost, it's a very good idea when they give you 1 minute to read the questions, encircle some signposts. For example, before this question number 36, you can encircle Pima, and then you can encircle baskets. When they say Pima and baskets, they are discussing that option. And when in the audio they say ancient Greeks, it means now they are going to give us the answer. Ancient Greeks used the symbol on dash. Again, a surface. Symbol on something. Exactly. It's going to be a surface.
In Europe, these spiral carvings date from the late Bronze Age. The Native American Pima tribe wove baskets with a circular labyrinth design that depicted their own cosmology. In ancient Greece, the labyrinth spiral was used on coins around 4,000 years ago.
Okay, used on coins around 4,000 years ago. And for symbol, they use the word was used on coins. Symbol on coins, used on coins. Coins, okay? Q-U-E-E. All right. Good job. C-O-I-N-S, coins. Walking labyrinth. The largest surviving example of a turf labyrinth. Now, if you don't know what a turf labyrinth is, doesn't matter. The largest surviving example of turf labyrinth once had a big, underline big. Now, I tell you, for big, they can use the word huge. For big, they can use the word gigantic. For big, they can use the word large, right? Enormous, or any other word like that. Just focus, and then at its center. Now look here. Big dash at its center. For center, they usually use the word middle. Middle. Center is not that center. This center is darmiyan. Okay, yeah. So for this center, they will use, because they said at its center, right? Big dash. Focus, context of the talk. Context is big dash at its center. So they may use the word a large tower in the middle. A large tower in the middle. What will be the answer? Tower. Well done.
In Northern Europe, there were actual physical labyrinths designed for walking on. These were cut into the turf or grass, usually in a circular pattern. The origin of these walking labyrinths remains unclear, but they were probably used for fertility rites, which may date back thousands of years. 11 examples of turf labyrinths survive today, including the largest one at Saffron Walden, England, which used to have a large tree in the middle of it.
Which used to have a large tree in the middle of it. And see, answer is tree. Okay? T-R-E-E, tree. Well done. Okay, question number 38. Labyrinths nowadays believed to have a beneficial impact on mental and physical health. For example, walking a maze can reduce a person's, underline reduce. Okay, walking a maze, if you're walking a maze, right? We used to have a maze in Gulshan Iqbal Park. Lahore Gulshan Iqbal Park. We used to have a maze old times and people used it for toilets. Exactly, wherever you entered, oh my God. Because in the maze, you can hide yourself easily. So people used it for toilets there. I remember in my childhood, we had a trip to that labyrinth. And as we entered, oh gosh, come out. So anyways, walking a maze can reduce. Now listen, can reduce, underline that. And write there, decrease or slower. Now look here. Can reduce blood pressure or slower heart rate, slower, with blood pressure we can reduce pulse rate. So slower pulse rate or anything like that. Okay, now let's see what it is. And they've mentioned persons. For persons, again, they will use some different word.
More recently, labyrinths have experienced something of a revival. Some believe that walking a labyrinth promotes healing and mindfulness, and there are those who believe in its emotional and physical benefits, which include slower breathing and a restored sense of balance and perspective.
Okay, which slowers? Breathing can reduce a person's, how do you spell breathing? ing, breathing. Good. Okay, let's go on. Question number 39. Then there is a point, prisons. So just encircle prisons. And when they say prisons, it means audio has reached here. After that, popular with parents, visitors and staff in hospitals. Oh, yes, I'm just coming. Popular with patients, visitors and staff in hospitals. Patients who can't walk can use finger labyrinth. Now they have a finger labyrinth, right? Made from. Now what is the answer? Material of that finger labyrinth, right? Now whatever the material, for example, made from plastic. Now they've got this and they're doing it like that, yeah? They just come. Do you understand labyrinth? Then you find it easy, otherwise, oh, ki hunda? Say, yeah, naan de na rakh ke khai de. Okay. All right. Let's see. Material of
This idea has become so popular that labyrinths have been laid into the floors of spas, wellness centres, and even prisons in recent years. A pamphlet at Colorado Children's Hospital informs patients that walking a labyrinth can often calm people in the midst of a crisis. And apparently, it's not only patients who benefit. Many visitors find walking a labyrinth less stressful than sitting in a corridor or waiting room. Some doctors even walk the labyrinth during their breaks. In some hospitals, patients who can't walk can have a paper finger labyrinth brought to their bed.
Can have a paper finger labyrinth. Now paper is the material, right? So answer is paper. Well done. Question number 40. Research has shown that Alzheimer's sufferers experience less dash. Now underline less. And for less, they can use any word. For example, they can use the word calm and relief from. For example, answer is stress. Less stress. What is the other word for that? Minimum stress, reduced stress, or decreased stress. Well done, exactly. Or calm and relief from stress. में वीडियो बनाते हैं तो उसके एंड पे होता था कैमरामैन यासीन हफीज, राइट? उस वक्त इनको काम नहीं आता था, लेकिन अब इनको आ गया काम, माशाल्लाह, बड़े. हाँ, इसी तरह ही उसका यूट्यूब चैनल भी है, अमीन हफीज. उस दिन आया हुआ था वो, पीसी में था. All right. So let's go on. Question number 40. Research has shown that Alzheimer's sufferers experience less dash. Focus less and you will find your answer.
For example, one study found that walking a labyrinth provided short-term calming, relaxation and relief from anxiety for Alzheimer's patients.
Anxiety for Alzheimer's patients. Anxiety. How do you spell? X-I-E-T-Y. And again, if your spelling is wrong, your answer is wrong. Thank you.